So today we're starting with a chocolate chunk muffin that basically tastes like a cross between a muffin and a brownie. So it's moist and delicious, and it doesn't have any flour, sugar, or butter in it. And actually all the recipes that we're gonna be making today, these were the recipes that I started Dashing Dish with, and they tend to be one of the most popular still. So we're gonna be covering a lot of the classics from Dashing Dish today. So to the blender, I added 1 cup of water, 1/2 cup of applesauce, 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt, and 3 egg whites. So now I'm gonna start with my dry ingredients, and I have cocoa powder here, and I'm gonna do 3/4 cup of cocoa powder. And the cocoa powder makes these muffins really rich and dense, almost like a brownie. And you wouldn't expect that cocoa powder would do that, but it really does add a lot of richness. And the nice thing about cocoa powder is it gives you that chocolate flavor without a lot of sugar and butter and all of the other yummy things that we know in chocolate. And then we have 1 3/4 cup of oats. And 1/2 cup of sweetener. With sweetener, if you've seen Dashing Dish cooking shows before, you know that I tell you you can use any kind of sweetener you like. Personally, I use monk fruit sweetener or stevia. I also like coconut sugar and sugar in the raw. So whatever works for you, just choose a dry, granulated sweetener for this recipe. Then I have 1½ teaspoon of baking powder and 1½ teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then I'm just gonna cover the blender and I'm gonna go ahead and blend this all up. All right, you just wanna blend that until it's completely smooth. You won't even know that there's oats in there at all because it's gonna be completely blended in, so it's more like a flour. And then I'm gonna take my trusty ice cream scoop here, which is really nice for muffins. It makes them the perfect size, and it's an easy release. So I use that whenever I make muffins. And I'm just gonna go ahead and scoop this in. This batter is gonna look really thin, but trust me, it turns out perfectly every time. And when I actually created this recipe, it was one of the first recipes that made me realize how different I felt when I went from that sugary white flour muffin that I bought from a grocery store freezer to making my own using whole grains. So in this case, it was the oatmeal. And I felt so much better. I didn't have an energy slump midway throughout my day. And I realized, wow, when I cut out the sugar and the flour, I feel so much better. And that was when I really started to have a healthier relationship with food. It was when I started to focus on how food makes me feel rather than eating healthy or eating a low-fat or a low-calorie food just to lose weight or just to fit into a certain size jeans. My motive was then turned into, how can I feel my very best? And that became my focus. And ultimately, that led me to desiring to glorify God with my body. And I think a lot of times we forget that, you know, we only get one body. And how we treat it, how we steward over it is so important. And if we make good choices and we fuel our body with real food, the way that God intended, we're gonna feel our best. And that allows us to be a really good steward over what He's given us and also bring Him glory because we have energy and strength to be able to do all that we're called to do. So I'm just gonna finish filling these muffin tins here. Okay, so now I'm gonna tap these with chocolate chips, and this is my favorite part. When I created this recipe, I called it triple chocolate chunk muffins because I actually did the chocolate chips and chocolate squares in the middle of the chocolate muffin, but now it's just gonna be a double chocolate muffin because we're just gonna do the chocolate with the chocolate chips. All right, so these look perfect. I did about 1/2 cup of chocolate chips, but you can measure those however you want. You don't really necessarily have to measure those out. Now I'm just gonna pop these into the oven, 350 degrees for about 20 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean.